Hi, this is Tactical Tonnie here with Tactical Tim, and this is video number 3 in my journey. And we're gonna go over 2 different types of handguns, a revolver and a pistol.
Ready?
Tim?
Okay, so Tanya was just telling me recently that our kids are arguing over the difference. If there was a difference, what were they arguing about?
They were arguing if a pistol is the same thing as a handgun.
Right, right. And you actually gave them the dead-on right answer.
And I said that a handgun is a more generic term for a pistol.
Dude, how many moms know that answer? That's awesome. Okay, so anyway, like Tanya said, we're just going to go through the basics between. So your first decision when you decide that, hey, I'm going to carry a gun. After you learn how to handle them properly so that you don't feel like a wiener in the gun shop, now we're going to decide, well, do I want a revolver or a semi-automatic pistol? And so what I'll do is I'll briefly just explain the very, there's huge, they're gigantically different, so we'll look at the differences, and then I'll give you a few pros and cons of each. So first we got revolver. So here we got an unloaded revolver, making sure, yep, all the chambers are empty. Of course we'll still treat it as if it's loaded.
So a revolver is something with the spinny thing.
The spinny thing, yes. The revolving thing.
Hey, that's all.
So the way a revolver works is you take ammunition and you put a round in each of the holes, and then you close it up here, and then the trigger, which in this specific model is actually kind of hidden on the inside here, because it comes up and bangs the primer on this end, and so the explosion actually happens in the chamber.
Okay.
And then the bullet, there's a little bitty gap here, crosses the gap and shoots out the end.
Okay.
Okay. And every time you pull the trigger, it advances the revolver, the spinny thing, 1 notch, and after you pull the trigger as many times as there are rounds of ammo, then it's done. And of course, to reload it, you have to open this up and take this little thing here and press it, and it pops out all the empty cartridges, and you put new ones in there. Simple as that. Okay, so that's we'll come back to the revolver in 1 second.
And this is the most simple, basic.
The revolver is the simplest gun there is. There's no external safeties. The safety is this. If you go like this, the gun goes off. If you go like that, it doesn't. Okay. So there's, you don't have to press any buttons or rub any surfaces. It just pull the trigger and it goes bang. Okay.
But the downside is that it takes longer to reload.
Correct.
Because you don't have a magazine.
Comparatively, yeah. I mean, sure, okay. There's somebody probably out there watching this video that can reload a revolver in 7.6 seconds or maybe even 1 second. But for your average standard human, it's much more difficult to reload a revolver than a pistol. Here's why. In the semi-automatic pistol, which looks like this, here we have a Glock 26. Make sure it's unloaded. Okay, we're good. This thing, the ammunition is carried in a magazine. Note, this is not called a clip. A lot of people call these clips. That is wrong.
What's a clip then?
A clip is, there's very, very few guns that actually take clips. A clip, like the M1 Garand, takes a clip, which actually is a steel clip that holds, I believe, maybe 8 to 10 rounds. Okay. And when it's done, it goes flying out of the gun.
Magazines don't go flying.
Exactly. Okay. And the bottom line, here's another great way to kind of come into the firearms fraternity. It's called these magazines. Okay. Because everybody that calls them clips don't know what they're talking about.
Okay. A good test.
Okay, so the ammunition's in the magazine. Magazine goes in the magazine well, and then every time the trigger is pulled, this slide thing goes back and forth, brings a new round in, shoots it out.
So you gotta watch that your hand is not coming up behind the hammer. What is this called?
This is called the slide.
The slide.
Yep.
So you gotta make sure your hand's not in the way of the slide.
Yep.
As it goes back and forth.
Yep. So you pull the trigger, and the bullet goes shooting out, and then pulls another magazine or another round off the top of the magazine, and now it's all ready to go. Pull the trigger again. Same thing. Okay. So as you can tell, it's much more complicated. Mm-hmm. But now the cool thing is that reloading, all you gotta do is pop this out, put another one in, and you're done. Okay. So that's cool. But the drawback, of course, is that it's a lot more complicated to operate, comparatively speaking. Especially some pistols have external safeties, sometimes multiple safeties. So now you know, if a bad guy's about to get you, now you got to pull your gun out, and you got to remember to undo the safety, etc. So it's a little more complicated.
Plus, some of these levers and buttons are kind of hard.
Yes,
especially if you're nervous and your hands are sweaty or something. You're in a situation where a lot of adrenaline's pumping.
Yes, definitely. It's just a more complicated system, which also means it's more complicated to maintain. So you got to kind of know what you're doing more in terms of cleaning it and
there are more things that could go wrong too.
More things that can go wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the modern day semi-automatic pistol is extremely reliable. I mean, thousands and thousands of our military personnel and police officers and citizens themselves stake their life on it. I mean, it's that reliable. But comparatively speaking, especially to the person who's just getting into this, it's a lot more complicated than Revolver.
Okay. And see, before you told me all this, if I was at a gun shop and just looking at, okay, which one's the prettiest? Okay, am I into a more contemporary look or a more traditional look? So
that's a great point.
Honestly, that's all I would go by.
Yeah. So
without knowing this information.
Well, let's yeah, I think, I mean, maybe in the next video, what we'll do is we'll actually go to the range and we'll shoot both of these, and we will you know, we'll do some magazine changes and see how fast you can change the ammo and or reload in the Revolver, and see how it goes.
Okay.
Is that good enough for now?
Yep.
Awesome. Good job.